Published 6:38 Eastern Standard Time, the 28th of January 2018. Updated 7:04 Eastern Standard Time, the 28th of January 2018. When it came down to it, Roger Federer's nerve was the stronger, and that is what ultimately carried him to an astonishing 20th Grand Slam title by winning the Australian Open. Forced into a fifth set after showing he was human by wavering in the fourth when 3-1 up, he finally saw off the challenge of Marin Cilic to win the final 6-2, 6-7, 6-3, 3-6, 6-1 in 3 hours and 3 minutes. There was a feeling it was meant to be when, somewhat controversially, the match was moved indoors due to a day of unusually steamy heat in Melbourne. Roger Federer became the first man to win 20 Grand Slam titles as he beat Marin Cilic 6-2, 6-7, 6-3, 3-6, 6-1 in Melbourne. Cilic reached the final after a comfortable passage past Brit Kyle Edmund and took Federer all the way in a thrilling 5 sets. The two players were going head-to-head in a Grand Slam final for the first time since Federer beat Cilic at Wimbledon 2017. It took just 24 minutes for the Swiss ace to capture the first set as a double break of the Croat serve set to him on his way on serve. Federer seemed unplayable for Cilic before the number 6 seed broke him twice in a spirited fourth set performance. Fans inside the Rod-Laver Arena made the loyalty clear as many clung to Swiss flags as they witnessed Federer make history. These were bespoke conditions for him to play what was his 30th Grand Slam final. Federer has now drawn level with Novak Djokovic on 6 Australian titles. He is also the 4th person in history to hit the 20s in major singles titles, the others being Margaret Court, Serena Williams and Steffi Graf. The victory means he is also nearly back as world number 1, now just 155 points behind Rafael Nadal. Federer, his voice cracking with emotion, said, "I'm so happy, it's unbelievable. It's a long day waiting for the finals. It's easier in the afternoon. I'm happy it's over now, but the fairy tale continues for me after the great year I had last year. It's incredible. We had a wonderful time in Australia. We arrived last year," added Federer, referring to his December departure from Europe. "Big congratulations to Roger and his team. It's amazing what you do year after year. It was an amazing journey for me to come to the final. I had a slight chance at the beginning of the fifth, but Roger played a great set," said Cilic. Federer's record indoors is such that he will have been pleased to have the roof closed, a decision which was made in the half hour before the match after the mixed doubles final had also been held inside. A Federer-led crowd cheered every touch, but one lady expressed her disappointment he was not facing world number 1 Rafa Nadal before the first serve. Both men had their eyes on another title, with Cilic chasing just his second Grand Slam of his career despite being blown away in the opening set. Cilic responded magnificently and edged the second set via a tiebreak, with the match seemingly slipping away in record time early on. It was crucial for Cilic to take the second set, and he knew it. There was certainly more humidity around and the temperature was baking hot, but it did not appear to have exceeded the 40-degree limit. It was in any event still extremely muggy in the arena, with the air conditioning struggling to pump in enough to keep a lid on things. Tennis Australia emphasised that the decision is always ultimately down to the discretion of the referee, Wayne McEwen, who has a meteorologist working with him on site. Cilic went in with a 1-8 head-to-head against the Swiss, and he initially looked a shadow of the player who had dismissed Kyle Edmund and the eventually injured Rafael Nadal. Before he knew it, within 17 minutes, he was 4-1 down, having been broken in the very first game when he made a dreadful mess of an overhead. He also appeared to have a problem with his racket string tension, but despite changing his implement could not stop the first set going in 24 minutes. He stepped it up at the start of the second and created 2 breakpoints at 1-0, but then needed to save 2 that Federer had at 2-2. By then, Tennis Australia, sensitive to criticism by the likes of the Murray brothers, had put out a statement confirming the high levels of the humidity had exceeded the threshold. The roof of the Rod-Laver Arena was closed due to the extreme heat, which has been a major talking point at the tournament. As the game went on, Federer realized he was in for a major test as Cilic grew stronger and dominated the Swiss in the fourth. After the disappointment of the first set, few expected the level of spirit and determination shown by Cilic to take it 5 sets as ever. Federer was the crowd favorite, and he had plenty of support as Cilic found his length and rhythm more as the match progressed. He missed a backhand on set point at 5-4, but in the tiebreak pulled ahead for 6-4, and on his second set point was the aggressor in the rally, which saw him finish the point with an overhead. He was now transformed, but then without warning played a poor game at 2-3, which saw Federer break to 15 as his tactic of hitting short slices to the backhand began to pay dividends. Having delivered an 18th ace, he held for 5-2, a wonderful half-volley winner hit on the retreat in that game signaled that he was once again heading into overdrive, and he drove home the advantage at the start of the fourth set by breaking immediately. Cilic was again put in two minds by a short slice to the backhand off his return and played a tame slice himself into the net on break point. He saved certain defeat by tucking away a forehand when the Swiss had the chance to go 3-0 up. That turned out to be significant because at 3-2 it was Federer's turn to toss in a lousy game, and he was broken to love as Cilic swung away manically from the baseline. After a comfortable semi-final match which saw Ian Chang retire in the second set, this was Federer's toughest test so far. Cilic was beaten in straight sets by Federer at Wimbledon, but the Croat showed how far his game has improved in Melbourne. Actor Chris Hemsworth and wife Elsa Pataky secured 2 tickets to the hottest event in town as stars came en masse to watch. The victory means 36-year-old Federer is also nearly back as world number one, now just 155 points behind sparred Rafael Nadal. At times like this you have to remember that the Swiss is 36 and he was suddenly the one looking less energetic as the Croatian, filled with renewed spirit, took advantage of his drooping first serve percentage outbreak again with an inside-out forehand. It was a choky sort of fourth set from the Swiss, and he needed to save 2 breakpoints at the start of the decider. Federer got fired up by a line call, and in the next game it was Cilic who suddenly came over all nervous, serving 2 double faults to allow his opponent to break. The Swiss was not going to make the same mistake twice, and for the second year in a row he sprinted for the line in a decider, clinching it in 33 minutes, albeit slightly less memorably than against Nadal 12 months ago.